Hello, I'm your instructor, Ann Magnuson, and this is a course tour video to show you the expectations and just to show you the layout and some ideas for approaching the class. So when you entered the class, you would have entered with the Getting Started material, and for each of these items in this module, I'd like you to read through them. I don't have office hours on campus obviously anymore, but you can always contact me via email or Teams. I'll talk about Teams in a little bit. We use WebAssign in this class. We use the text Stewart Early Transcendentals Calculus. There are two options. You can buy WebAssign access to the one-term for a one-term access or multi-term access, and the ebook is embedded in WebAssign. If you wanted to buy the hard copy of the book, you would need to contact the bookstore. I could get you that information. They're not open to physically go to right now. This course is not self-paced, so it's based on a weekly schedule. There are 2 attendance requirements per week. They fall on Thursday and Sunday. There's a discussion board. 2 discussion board posts count as 1 attendance requirement, and a quiz or a unit test count as the other attendance requirement. The next thing talks about those attendance discussion boards. I've had a couple of questions about the first one. So normally the discussion boards are the first one on Thursday, you ask a question on content, questions on the content. So either a WebAssign problem, or I didn't understand this from the video, or I don't understand this example from the book. And then the second post is you answering someone else's question that had been previously asked. Or if you can't answer anybody else's question, you can post another one, or you can answer your own question. So those 2 posts count for 1 attendance. In the first week, just include a little introduction about yourself in your first post. So you can just say, I'm Ann and I'm from here and whatever, and then do your ask your question. And I have an example post in that first discussion board that I'll show you in a little bit. Our quizzes will be weekly. They'll be over the week's material. So the new material is available on Mondays of the week, and then our quiz on that material will open on the following Saturday, and you'll have a 3-day window in which to take your WebAssign quizzes, and they're timed. You get 2 attempts per problem in case you accidentally enter something incorrectly and you realize it and you want to change it, but just 2 attempts. So that's 1 session, but 2 attempts per problem. The discussion boards are graded, so it's important that you post a quality post. It needs to be substantive. It can't just be, yeah, I agree with Joe, or something vague and nebulous. It needs to be, refer to a specific example or problem that you have and how far you got in trying to do the problem, and it needs to contain the problem. So you can't just say, go look at WebAssign section 2.2 number 3 and not include what that is in the post, because the point is to make it easy for other students to read it and to answer to help you. So you want everything in line. And I have an example post in the first discussion board. WebAssign is, in case you're not familiar with it, it's a homework system. It's the questions from the Stewart textbook are coded in WebAssign, and you do them online, and you'll have plenty of time to practice it. Those are a Getting Started with WebAssign assignment. That's one of your first attendances for the week, actually. And then you'll have WebAssign homework every week, a WebAssign quiz every week. So you'll get plenty of experience with WebAssign by the end of the term. This is how things are graded in this class. Notice the discussion boards are a decent chunk of your grade. The WebAssign homework, you get multiple attempts per question. This is an easy thing to do, but with the WebAssign homework, don't go down the rabbit hole of trying to get 75, attempting something 75 times to get the right answer. The point is to understand the math. So it's easy to get either frustrated because you're inputting something in a way that WebAssign doesn't want you to, and so it doesn't understand it, or you're getting frustrated because maybe you really didn't get the math, but it just becomes, it's a psychological thing. It becomes like, you get more obsessed about the WebAssign than the understanding. So, if you want to do problems from the book as well, that's fine. The problems coded in WebAssign are what's in the book. The good thing about WebAssign is it will have videos to help you. I do think that the more you rely on videos and solutions in the WebAssign problems, the less, the more shallow the learning becomes, because then it just becomes, let's get this done. Let's check off all these problems and get this homework assignment done. Remember, the point of homework is practicing the math to really understand it. Something clicks if you keep practicing and practicing. So okay, I'll get off my WebAssign soapbox. There's also, for unit tests in WebAssign, they're timed. You'll be required to show your work. As you show your work, you'll be required to do it in the method that this class teaches it. So that is for academic integrity as well as for assessment purposes. So to get help, you can contact me via Teams or email. There's an Ask Your Teacher feature in WebAssign, and then we also have the ILC, which is the Individualized Learning Center or Tutoring Center, and that's still available online. And the STEM Center, which is a place to get help from math and science faculty, and that's available online in a limited fashion. We're still kind of trying to figure out how to do that. So the ILC students find very helpful though as well. Please watch this video on WebAssign unit tests. And I'm sorry if you hear my dog. The neighbor's bringing up his garbage can and my dog does not like that. Please watch this video because it shows you what the expectations are for showing work. So if you have mathematical problems, I want you to write out your work just as if it was a written test, take a picture and upload a JPEG or a PNG file and attach it to the WebAssign problem in the test. Or if you have like a multiple choice or multiple select problem, I've inserted text boxes where you can type in your explanation and refer to where in the class refer to it, the method that we used in the class. All right. So please watch that video because I think an example is the best way to see it, and I have an example assignment there that I walk through with you. So MS Teams is something that Wake Tech is using. It's part of Office 365, and they've created teams for each class. So we have a team, and I activated it Monday night, so you should have gotten some type of notification saying you were added to the team, and this is the name of the team, and it has a little cap thing there. And if you click in it, I don't know how often you've used Teams, but this is a good way you can just chat, you can post files, we can have office hours, we can have the class can meet if you want. So this morning I scheduled this meeting because a student asked to meet with me, and so I thought, well, I'll put it out there and give a chance for other students to ask questions too. And a lot of people attended, you could see, and asked a lot of questions. So anytime you want to meet, if you want to meet just one-on-one, we don't have to ask anybody else in the class. We can just meet one-on-one as well. So, but Teams is an easy way to communicate. And then the next thing, please read the syllabus in its entirety and just wander around the course just to click through things. And then the first thing you need to do is take the course entry quiz. That will count as your having entered the course. And if you don't take it by May 20th at 11:59, you're dropped from the course as not attended. So it's a quick turnaround in an 8-week session. Once you take the course entry quiz, this next thing will display the FERPA quiz, I call it. It's just basically 2 signatures. You sign in 2 boxes. one says, the FERPA signature says that we can discuss things via email. And then the second signature is the academic honesty agreement. And then once you sign those, that opens up the syllabus quiz, the getting started quiz. And you need to make an 80% on that. And once you do, then the lessons show for you. So here are the lessons. This is the first week. Every week will look like this. So you'll see that every week we have about 4 sections from the book to cover. So it's a really very intense schedule in a 16-week semester. Each week you'll have a weekly checklist that you should follow that shows you your attendance requirements and the sections we'll be covering for the week and the things that you should do in each section, the homework, the due dates. So you'll see that every week. And then you'll see a discussion board link and a link to WebAssign, like if there's a quiz or a special assignment or a test. And then the content, these are called learning modules that have the actual content. So I'm going to click in one of these learning modules. And again, it's something to click through. So the content consists of videos, which are videos that I've made that are based on the text, so that everything's consistent in the class. And they're on YouTube. There's a channel if you want to do it that way. So the videos are kind of meant to replace the going to class and listening, right, and interacting. Well, going to class and listening to the instructor. They're about 6 to 8 minutes long, and I chop them up, and after certain points, I've inserted these concept check quizzes, and those are graded. And they're just like multiple choice or true false quizzes. They're just like 1 to 4 questions, and that's just test to make sure that you got the big picture, the gist of the video that was just shown. There are some other things that if you click in, look at that. There are other things in there. So there's a Desmos lesson. The videos are based on these Desmos lessons. These are like slides sort of, but they're interactive and they're graphically based, and they're good to interact with. So much, I think, of this course, most people learn it best visually, and I think that this is a great tool to do that. So the videos are based on these, and then you can also just go right into these and play with them yourself. So that's something else you'll find there. And then just PowerPoints and just other, I've put in links to, other videos. I don't suggest approaching the course from just in bite-sized examples of everything. I mean, examples are the way you learn something initially, but it's not just about regurgitating examples that you've seen. You need to really understand the material and the big picture, especially if you're going to move on to Cal 2 and Cal 3 and up. So I wanted to point that out. And then I'd mentioned there were some things in this crazy 8-week session that is just too hard to include. In a normal 16-week session, I would include labs every week, and these could really help solidify some concepts. So I've included them here, but they're not to be turned in or graded. But if you can get to those and do those, that'd be great. That just would, round things out nicely. The prerequisite assignment in week 1 is important. So I created this assignment from the algebra and trig from old tests. And a lot of people that have problems with calculus actually have problems with the algebra and trig, not the calculus itself. So these are authentic assignments that I took from, tests that people have really had and have struggled with. Some people have struggled with. So I want you to make sure that you can feel comfortable with this material and try to distinguish between I'm a little rusty, I just need to brush up on trig identities versus, oh, I never really got this, when I took this, and I'm really shaky on the basics. So that's something that only you can decide. And then finally, I wanted to show you the discussion board because I've had a lot of questions on this. So I'm going to click into here, and a lot of people have posted already. But I wanted to show you my post. So just for this first week, I put in an introduction, and the rest of my post is an example of what I would like to see when you post to your Thursday post when you ask a question. So I want you to include the problem statement. I want you to say in the thread which problem it is, like WebAssign 2.2 number 4, right? And if it needs graphs or pictures from the problem, I want you to include that in the post so that people can easily read the post and don't have to go and looking in WebAssign or elsewhere to answer your question. So again, this is in the rubric. It's graded. It's important that you follow that so that we can get a good discussion in the class. We can have good communication. People can really help each other. I'd really, it's not that worthwhile to post at 11:59 when, the last day of that it's due, because then there's not time to answer you. So try not to treat it as just a check mark. Try to actually use the discussion board to get help or to give help. Some people have really good ways of explaining things, among their peers, and it's a really good way to learn. So I hope that you can make that, an integral part of the course. So that's about it, and I hope that we have a good semester. And again, you can email me, you can message me with Teams, and I try to be responsive, and I will see you soon. Thanks. Bye.